very key advice is to be transparent and very, very respectful of their own problems. I think that could be obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many times they fail, or should I say misunderstand that, because oftentimes autism can be misunderstandable, and because I say my own autism is very, very unique to me as a person. It's not like it would be the same for other people. But also, I think you need to give them space and time. In fact, very, very clear, very, very quiet space of their own in which they can, an environment in which they can work. I know this with very, very good confidence, because at my current sixth form, which apparently used to be part of, in my tutor group there is also happens to be an autistic student among them, who is also in a way highly functioning autistic, but in this day and age can be a lot more shy. I mean, as shy as I used to be in situations, yeah, but not really vocal as a person. My tutor at that time in year 12, who just happened to be the deputy Senko, had realised that realised that he wasn't really putting as much effort into, at least not speaking much, not giving his all-in participation, and wanted to see if there was a possibility. Especially at that time, though, my group was generally a very, very talkative group, more than I previously had in terms of tutor groups. It was a very, very bit of a problematic environment for him, because there was a lot of loud noise, especially for the morning, anyway. So she was saying, Jack, how about he sits next to you, because you don't tend to talk as much unless it's to do with the tutor time topic when you're in terms of class discussions. I think he needs to sit next to you so he can understand you very well, and so we can communicate better. Which I tried to. I got pieces of paper, wrote down my name, and wrote speech dialogue on it as a way of communicating to him, and passed him the sheet of paper so that he could respond as a way of him being comfortable with, actually. I also tried to join with him in lunchtime. I have conversations with him. I joined an Uno game that he was playing with a few other students as well at one point, which I thought would have really helped him. But then the tutor was saying in a few months' time, Jack, you just being next to him had really, really improved his outlook. He feels a lot more confident within the tutor group. So that is why I'm so sure, within that experience, that tells me everything about how an autistic person should be given a lot of transparency, a lot of space, a lot of understanding. Try not to joke with an autistic person. I mean, if you learn jokes that they're gonna like, then yes, but it's best to be careful. It's best to be careful. It's not like you would know what they like at all. They really need that understanding and transparency. That is what I'd say kids can really learn. As well as the fact that any autistic person can do well. Any autistic person can do well at anything. There are many examples of this. In fact, in my tutor group at this community school, I only had one across the years. In my year, I had an autistic person who was a bit more low functioning, because he found walking very difficult, had to walk across in a frame, but he still was an example in a way of a lot of talent. He was a very talented pianist, so that in a way taught me that he could be very, very good at what he did. And another key example is at my current sixth form, the lower school of that sixth form, there is a autistic or some kind of special needs person who is an excellent singer, a really, really, really praised singer. This just tells you how autistic people can do great things. For me, it's achievements like November 2020, when I passed grade 8 flute, Associated Board of Royal Schools Music, which, yeah, those are examples of times when autistic people can do great. You just have to give them that feeling, that emphasis that they can do, and that there is a possibility, and sort of guide in that direction. So that's what I have to say to other children who would be seeing other people in terms of autism. So I mainly start simple. I'd say good morning, because that was how shy he was. He really wasn't able to say good morning. It was even difficult to get hand gestures out of him, because that was how he wasn't feeling as confident. So I started with good morning. Often his speech would be very short, and sometimes not as legible, but I think I could read it, and it was I had to start simple. I had to ask him particular questions. I wanted to see if there was a chance of him being, wanted to know whether he was feeling okay. He wrote that he was tired, went to bed at 11 o'clock perhaps, and other key ideas that taught me about him that I don't think the tutor would have understood, because she wouldn't have used that tactic, and I think it would have connected with him better in a way that was more comfortable to him, because I knew talking about long topics and talking generally to him may be a bit too hindering and overwhelming for him.